Hello everybody, welcome to Belgium, and we're in Stavelot this weekend, a town that dates back to the year 648, and together with nearby Malmedy formed a Christian state ruled by a Prince Abbot that stayed autonomous for over 1,000 years. On the fourth Sunday of Lent, the celebration of Blanc-Moussi. This is a tradition that goes back to 1502. The monks weren't allowed to take part, so the locals dressed up instead, and the white costumes can be found all over the town. In 1977, another town became part of Stavelot, and that's where we are this weekend for our racing. It's the 12 Hours of SPA-Francorchamps.
We are in Belgium. We are at the circuit of SPA-Francorchamps for the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa. It's the second race for the European season, and this is a legendary circuit with action. Join us. Everything will happen here.
Not every team had a good start to the weekend. During free practice, not everything has gone well.
We have a big crash at the Rédillon, and the mechanical have doing a very good job during the night to repair it. And the color is just the fun color for the race, and many thanks to whole team for this job.
Okay, we have a bad accident, bad crash in Rouge. I pushed a little bit more than the tires. Okay.
The car couldn't be repaired, but the team will start with a replacement car.
The car was actually coming from Barcelona because we had the last few days the Porsche Super Cup tests down there, the official test. So this was the problem because the trucks was on the way from Barcelona up here. The car was delivered 2 o'clock by night, and the mechanics was working since then all night long because you have to change a lot of things from the Super Cup to the Creventic series reglementation, and we are back in the race.
In qualifying, car number 709 is forced to stop due to technical issues.
I just lose before the corner here. I lose my oil pressure, but I don't lose oil. So I think the belt of our dry sump pump is gone or get lost of the engine.
Still, this is the place that you want to race.
Yeah, it stays the most crazy track. Let's say what I drove. It goes up, downhill. So this is
also a hard track to race on. So there's plenty of action expected this weekend. 2 divisions in this race, and the GT pole is claimed by the number 11 Ferrari.
It was really good. We had a clean lap, perfect lap. The car was really good, and so I did my best, and was the first pole of the year.
In the other category, TCE, the pole goes to the number 101 Cupra.
It's always hard to try to put your best lap, but I think we managed pretty well and we got pole.
We're getting ready to go racing, and on the starting grid, well, we meet all sorts.
Before, at Nicolo's time, we go all the youngs, go with this mask and the veil and bells. We go boom, boom, boom. And we know that, but the number 666 is the name of the devil, that's it.
So what can we expect?
I expect the battles in every classes, and it's very tight again. It's a long circuit, 7 kilometers. Everything can happen here.
Wow, pole position. Not bad for the first time with the new car. The car is working really well. We try to get on the podium. That's what we try.
Just keep going. Keep going and do the best we can. I mean, I think if you keep going and you don't get into trouble, you'll get a result. So it'd be nice to try and win our class.
We have a really good driver lineup this time, so we are all more or less on the same level, and we hope that we can do best. And it's also saying if the weekend starts really badly, it just can go better, and mostly it works out like that.
We have to see. It's hard with all the different drivers and different teams. We will find out in the race. I think we have a pretty strong lineup, and we are aiming to get the win.
The pace car heads into the pits. The field come through the final part of the bus stop chicane. They're lined up to start the first 4 hours of the Hankook 12 Hours of SPA-Francorchamps. The race is on, and already a battle for first position. The 25 Winward Racing AMG fighting the pole sitter to head the field. but that number 11 Bohemia Energy Ferrari holds on to the lead.
Oh, it was very good. It was a little crowded, of course, as it is always, but everything went smooth. No touching, no accident, so I think the field got very well on the way.
Behind the two leaders, the battle for third position, for now at least, still in the hands of the WRT Audi.
It was a nice group with the Ferrari of Praha over there, then the Manfilter, me, then I think behind me was Robert Reinauer, and then the Grasser Lamborghini came. So it was fun out there, and I mean, Spa is also a great track, great fun.
Of course, there are two categories racing this weekend. The red Ferrari leading the GTs as the Touring Car Endurance Series heads to the line to get their 12 hours of Spa underway. The orange-red Cupra of Red Camel charges away from the field, capitalising on the pole position. Behind that number 101, the battles for position have already started. It's the 188 Audi that runs second. Peter Hardman has also had a good start.
The start was good, the lights came on, obviously everybody goes, lads pass before the start line, but I got a good run into turn one, and then everybody kind of all falls over themselves a bit down the hill towards Eau Rouge. So I just lift off a little bit, wait for everybody to fall over themselves, and then went flat through Eau Rouge. Well, not flat, but near enough. And you get a really good run up the hill. So I got one car up the hill, and we were doing really well.
Early caller to the pits, the number 105 Volkswagen of GSR Motorsport. They've got problems with their gearbox. And the Intersport BMW, after its good start, it's not so good now.
Yeah, going up rally on there, we just lost all power. And it just appears the fly-by-wire throttle has failed. So we had no throttle. So I tried to roll back, but I couldn't get back. It was ticking over, but it wouldn't run on tick over all the way back here, so I had to pull off before the end of the first lap.
Once the code 60 is over, we're back in a great battle for first position in the touring car class.
But I can keep in touch with him and push a little bit on pressure, and he make mistakes in the entry of the double left, so I can overtake him. And afterwards, I was really building my gap and helping from the traffic also a little bit.
Not so tight in the GT category. The number 11 Ferrari has pulled away from the competition. The number 105 car is back on track, but as we can see, the problems with their gearbox have not been completely solved.
We later then recognized that it was a software problem, and to the downshift there was some rev limiters. And we adapted our, shifting of the gears to that we're shifting with lower revs. After adapting that, we quite went well.
The GSR Volkswagen is back on its way, but now the GT race leader is in the pit lane.
We have a puncture, so we need to stop. There is something on the track, I don't know why, but the rear right tire, we have a problem with the rear right tire, and for the moment we keep going.
And for added excitement, the CWS Ginetta.
Well, we had a little problem. A Ferrari decided to drive in the side of my car so hard that it broke the front suspension, and then we had to try and limp the car back to the garages here. And the tyre was shaving all its rubber off against the bodywork. I had to end up pulling it up by a fire marshal, then they put the fire out, then drove the car on again back to the pits here, and then we repaired it and the car's back out.
But there was still fire when the car came into the pits.
No, that's people thinking it was. It's people panicking. I wouldn't have brought a fire into a pit lane. There was big clumps of rubber down on the exhaust, and so that was very easy to put out. Just pick it out and job done.
As Colin mentioned, it took the team about an hour, but the car was able to rejoin the race. As we look back through these TV highlight shows, we do see most of the major incidents, but really, and for most teams, things are going well. And any incidents, we hope, are minor.
We had a good race, but after 1 hour and I think 40 minutes, I had a little contact with the E-Deck Mercedes. He touched me on the right rear and I turned myself, but that's racing, so it's just a normal race incident.
The Porsche number 903 gets itself out of the gravel.
I did a big driving mistake. It was some overtaking of a slower car, and it was me and another cup car, and we go off race line in the dirt, and I was braking absolutely too late in the dirt and have no chance to stop the car. But yeah, it was a super big mistake for myself that I did. So
the team repair the minor damage with a bit of duct tape, and the car is still in the race for the trophy in the 991 class. This is endurance.
Well, for us, it's all a big teamwork. You know, you have to organize your pit crew, you have to organize your strategic guy, your race engineer, and you have to have your team in good mood. So all together, that's endurance for us.
There are few tracks in the world that fire the imagination of drivers to an extent as here at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps.
What a wonderful track. The sun shines here, and I think this is one of the best tracks in the world. Having the ability to go up Eau Rouge is such an honour, and the car absolutely fantastic around there. Poo on a downhill corner, absolutely on the limit. The car's sliding, and the smile on your face is absolutely fantastic.
It's a wonderful track and also wonderful installations, and I'm impressed. I'm last year here, but I'm enjoying a lot because I have spent more time here, and well, I'm very happy.
It's a wonderful track. It's a real driver's track. We have beautiful weather, great cars on the track, so I think we have a good weekend.
Yeah, if you know it goes all time down uphill, so it's never flat. If you think on the Radion, it's the most crazy corner in the world, let's say. Yeah.
Spa-Francorchamps wants to be known as the temple of endurance racing, not just for cars, but for motorcycles as well. And that means investing a lot to create the ideal conditions for competition.
A lot of projects coming. One of them is just growing at the entrance of the circuit. This is for the World Championship of Rallycross, 11th and 10th of May coming. And here we're, as well, sports-wise, we want to create a new experience for the fans. So there will be music, food and beer festival, drift. You can test a car on the normal track, and then you can go to the stadium to watch the race. So I think we need to move on to the way we, as circuit, see the future.
During this very special year for the track, there'll be a lot available for visitors to experience.
It's for the celebration of the century of the circuit. We're going to have big helmets, one per decade, and every inside and outside there will be a story with the digital technology, and we will transport our fans as well through to 2 to 4 hours walk within the forest, and they can learn about the history of and the memories of the circuit. Who matter you are, who influenced, who built the track, what was the problem, the federation, the safety, the drivers, the teams, the promoters. We're going to talk about all of this through images, through videos, through 3D, through virtual augmented reality. So that's coming soon.
The competition isn't only on the track. The team needs to keep an eye out for the tactics and techniques that the other teams are using.
Yes, of course, because we lose a little bit time on the first pit stop, so I was a bit concerned and look and compare to the others. Yeah, of course, it's competition, and it's not only on the track, it's also in the pits.
We've had a few cars coming in with punctures. Some of that is down to debris on the track and the aggressive curbs here at Spa, but of course the setup of the car also plays its part.
Yeah, we had to reduce the camber because of the punctures. So the car is not set up 100% well, but it's still very drivable, and the car is running well apart from those punctures, but now it's running well for the last 2 hours. And I mean, there's still about 8.5 hours to go.
If you abuse the tyres, the consequences can be severe, as Sven van Laar finds out.
Well, I was coming out of La Source, going full speed direction Eau Rouge, and unfortunately I had an exploding tire on the left-hand backside, and the car stepped out on it. There was no holding on the car. The team had a look at it, but the car is too much damaged, so it's over for us. Going home and maybe next race.
After the long winter, SPA-Francorchamps is enjoying fabulous weather, but the track itself is still cold.
I was out with new tires, so they were not on temperature when I started, so I'd spent 2.5 laps getting them up on temperature, taking it easy, and I thought by now they should be with a bit of grip, which was not the case. I crashed the car today. That should never happen, of course.
Getting close to the end of the first day of racing, but the E-Deck Sport number 17 would finish a little earlier than expected.
We were first, and the car was incredible. A very beautiful setup, and we were very fast, but we had a problem maybe 30 minutes before the checkered flag, a big problem, and in the front of the car we break a piece of the car just beside the wheel.
The number 188 Audi from AC Motorsports leads the TCR class, but it's still not quite as fast as they'd hoped.
To be fair, I would have liked to have gone a lot faster in the car, but we did have we were at the end of our cycle on the rear tyres, so we had very little rear grip. But it was comparable with everybody else in the same car, in the same class, so we have to take that.
Because of their early gearbox problems, the GSR Motorsport number 105 is bringing up the rear of the field in the TCR class, but they're still enjoying their racing.
You know, it's a dream, actually, a dream come true to drive on this track in the racing, not in kind of track days conditions or something. So it makes much more thrill, you know, seeing all these GT3 cars and so on. It's really amazing.
It's a two-part race, 4 hours on Friday, 8 hours on Saturday, and those first 4 hours have been completed. The intermediate checkered flag comes out, and first to see it, the number 11 Ferrari. Let's take some time to reflect on the race so far.
Last stint was very great. We had a very long stint, but a great car. And I think at the end we are on piece 3 in the class, and I think for the first day it's all fine.
At the end of the day, obviously it was getting dusk. Everybody was trying to figure out what to do with fuel strategy. So we were actually running a lean map and trying to get good fuel mileage and to stretch it to the end.
No final results yet decided, of course, but it's a good time to have a look at how it stands after the first third of the race. Part 2 of the race tomorrow will have 7 pole sitters, one for each of the classes. And in GT, the Bohemia Energy Ferrari number 11 will lead the 63 Lamborghini from GRT Grasser away. Now, time differences disappear for the restart, so those two cars will be side by side. Third position, the number 91 Herbert Motorsport Porsche, and that lap difference will remain. In the TCE race, all of the top 3 are still on the same lap. The number 188 AC Motorsport Audi, the number 112 Autorama Volkswagen, and the Volkswagen from Holmgard will all restart the race tomorrow as first, second and third. The rest of the top 7 all have a lap each over the car directly in front of them on the grid.
We get a derogation of the organization to pick up another car, so we went home, take up another car, and we can start tomorrow for 8 hours.
The cars stand untouched in Parc Fermé overnight, waiting for their teams to return. However, some of the teams have decided they needed to work on their car.
Yeah, we decided to bring it in and have a 10 lap penalty. Just check through the car because we've been hitting the suspension. I want to make sure that's safe for 8 hours today. And so we worked on it last night, got it all nice and put a new front bumper on and made it look pretty.
Others have decided to live with the minor issues from Friday, like a broken stabilizer.
Well, it will cost more time and we don't really have time. I mean, if we go into the pit and put a new stabi on, then we will lose probably a lap or half a lap, and we cannot afford it at the moment, so we will just keep it like it is, and it's drivable, so we're okay with it.
It's a new day, and we're getting ready for the second leg.
We still have about 8 hours to go. What we saw yesterday is that the teams are trying to stay in the lead lap, so don't lose any time. And today, I think maybe the first rounds, we already will see which car doesn't have much fuel in it and has to go very fast to the fuel station.
Today we can start off the 11th place, but it's a little bit hard thinking because some cars needs to fuel as well. So I think in about 3 hours we're gonna see the end result already.
Currently we are second in M class,
So it's okay. We are still in the same lap with the leader in our class, so everything is now on 0 point.
Robert apparently went for a beer even before the race finished last night.
The Mercedes
and there are the class leaders.
Oh no, we are leading. Ah, right. I haven't known this. Yeah, it's a surprise. Now we are first in our class. I was not driving in the end, so I couldn't follow everything. That's fine. So everything is in our hand.
With the race about to start, heading the field, the number 11 Ferrari of Bohemia Energy Racing with Scuderia Praha.
We start from the pole, but still 8 hours, and also the Lambo is really strong, so we never know. We just to push and do our best, and then this evening we'll see.
As both the GT and the TCE fields are on their way, one car is out of the lineup. Peter Terting noticed problems with the number 980 MRS GT Racing Porsche when he came out of Parc Fermé.
This morning we had no brake at all, so we even had no brake to go into the grid, and then it makes no sense. It's a safety issue, of course, so we pulled the car back into the pit, changed the brake pipe, did a bleeding, and then we continued.
Just like Friday, the GT cars are at the front and come to the end of their warm-up laps. They're ready to recommence the battle for the Hankook 24-hour GT Endurance Series. The lights are off and the field spreads out over the full width of the main straight. Everyone trying to gain a position in the early running before the first corner. The Pole City Ferrari holds on to its lead and the whole field follows neatly through La Source. No incidents. But you still have to remember, the track is very cold.
Yeah, we started with the very old tires of yesterday, and at the beginning it was very slippery, and I spun in turn 4, I think, and then I have to get past all the other cars. And at the end we did a good first stint, and overall we are still fine.
Meanwhile, the TCE race is about to restart this Hankook 12 Hours of Spa. Just like the GT grid, the TCE entries are starting their second day of racing, trying to gain positions. The orange number 101 Cooper from Red Camel has a good start, moving up from 4th, and they come out of that first corner in 2nd place. The pressure kept on the leading Audi, and a fight that AC Motorsport would ultimately lose.
I made a little mistake on braking into Les Combes, so broadcast overtake me by the outside and brake very late and make the corner, but to avoid the contact with him, I have to steer my car more than necessary, and I lost the back of the car, so I spun.
The GR Motorsport BMW number 202 is into the pits. They have decided to work on the damage that they incurred yesterday.
Yesterday we broke the front splitter, and we don't have any downforce. So you just keep pushing, and then the tires in the front, they are like half an hour drive, they are finished. It's a new bumper. It takes too long, so we have to do it with what we have now.
The bus stop chicane is tough at the best of times, as Frederic Angsel can vouch for.
Yeah, I was pushing. I bumped in a vibreur, and the car turned. And I tried to fit it straight right, but there's no, so I turned in the other wheels.
Then when we came into the bus stop, I was already alongside him and actually in front of him for the right-hander. But then for the left-hander, he just closed the door on me and spun him around. So, there's nothing I can do. It sucks for both of us. We had damage from the car and they spun out, so there was no point.
The number 102 is currently leading the TCE series, but not for long.
We had gearbox failure when I was in the car, and I was driving towards Blanchimont, and suddenly it popped out of gear. Luckily I was able to just roll towards the pit entry, and now we have a new gearbox on the way in, but the race is over for us. So,
in a perfect world, the race would be incident and accident free. Sadly though, it's not a perfect world.
One of the Porsche Cup cars decided, he was going to make a move on me in turn 1, and kind of misjudged it and misjudged where I was, and hit me in the rear, and ended up breaking a bunch of suspension components. So
maybe
he didn't saw me, and maybe I'm doing a little bit wrong maneuver that is not predicted by them and for me, and we have different trajectories, so we make an accident in the apex point, so it's sad.
The GTL Racing Audi has had a good stint, but they've managed to get in trouble in the pit lane.
I think we was in P3 or P4 when I came in and I jumped out of the car, and a new driver came in. The crew was trying to fix the belt for him, and somebody accidentally pushed the fire extinguisher, so it emptied the fire extinguisher in the car and in the hood, so we needed to wash out everything, and we lost over half an hour now. So.
No race is ever really straightforward, and that's especially true in endurance racing. We're only halfway into this race, and frankly, you can never take any result for granted before the checkered flag drops. This is endurance.
It's a team effort. It's not only driving the car on the track. It's really a team effort between the engineer and the mechanics and the driver, of course. It's always like that. Yeah, if you don't have a team spirit in endurance, it's not possible to do good results, for sure.
Creventic Series has built a reputation on welcoming teams, drivers and spectators to their events. They're just as welcoming to media that come to any of the races. And many love following the series wherever it goes.
Well, I love photography, and I love motion and emotion, and motorsport is all that in one sport. It's a really endurance series, so it's a lot of work to do over 12 or 24 hours. And that's a special kind of motorsport. I think it's the main thing. It's the endurance and the nice places too, and the racetracks are great.
Some teams even have their own camera crew with them, like Hoffer, who bring along race-media.tv.
Over the years, all the races are special. So I think there is no special point to say this was every time. When my own customer team is winning, the class are all over winning, it makes you happy, and it's a special moment.
The series also attracts TV and internet shows, making documentaries of drivers or teams.
So we're following driver Stijn Schothorst, who's racing with WR2, I believe. And yeah, we follow every single step he makes today and tomorrow, and what it is to drive, but also a lot behind the scenes footage, so the stuff you normally don't see on TV.
So what do they think of these Creventic events?
This vibe on this circuit is really different with the vibe at DTM. It's really relaxed, and that's nice. The vibe is so good, but it can also be the weather is good and then the people are good, but the vibe is awesome.
Drivers often get media asking them about their race. They mostly don't seem to mind.
Oh, the media's absolutely great. They're absolutely great.
So a variety of ways to keep informed about Creventic events, like this show you're watching now, for instance, which is available to TV stations around the world.
We are on the second position, about 50 seconds behind the Herbert Motorsport.
It's R7 of racing in the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps, with GT and TCE cars battling for positions in their classes. This part of the race hasn't started well for the number 685 Peugeot from Dan Agro Racing.
The tires was a little colder than I anticipated, with a full tank of fuel. So I overshot it at the top of the Rouge and ended up with a soft touch on the tire wall. So that was okay, but I got extremely good support from the marshals. I have to say thank you for that to the marshals. They really helped me back on the track again, so I could continue very soon after. If you look at the car, we have got a little bit of lipstick, we call it, on the right side of the car, so otherwise there was no damage to the car.
At the head of the field, the battle is between the Czech-run Ferrari and the Austrian-run Lamborghini.
That was a nice fight. I'm feeling that the race circuit is for me much better than the last year. I learned some new tricks in the corner, so I'm quicker than the last year. And I could also fight with the good drivers here on the racetrack.
Stefano Constantini has just lost the GT lead, but gets it back, even though the Bohemia Ferrari and the GRT Lamborghini have touched. But the number 63 won't stay in first position for long.
During my stint, I was in first position overall, and another slow car, one BMW, close me and touch me the rear posterior wheels, and I think that the other driver didn't see the mirror and close me and touch me and broke my car, and lost maybe 10 laps.
So Grensport are a regular competitor in the 24-hour series, and they're here in Spa too.
Unfortunately, Eau Rouge took another victim. The car got kicked on the entering curb on the left side. So the rear turned around and the car was parked backwards. It's definitely repairable, but not today and here.
The number 112 running second is trying to pass the leading number 188 Audi. Well, just for now, those positions aren't changing. It's tight in GT as well. CP Motorsport trying to regain time that they lost earlier.
As the track got warmer, I did spin the car once very lightly, and it cost us 20 seconds, which is something we need right now because we're in a really good race with the 34 car and the 41 cars.
Quick and efficient pit stops are essential if you want to win, but the Synchro number 676 needs more than just regular attention.
Strategy-wise, it was going well, and the pit stops have been almost perfect. But unfortunately, we had a small connector issue on the ECU, and that lost us 30 minutes in the box. It's put us from P1 back to P3, but we're catching now.
And in pit 33, the CWS Ginetta number 378 is being worked on.
I had a little spin in La Source, and I don't know if that's the cause, but that second lap we started losing fifth gear, and so brought it back in, and fifth gear and sixth gear are gone, but we're doing a gearbox swap, so we're hoping to still make a podium and make the finish.
Rodrigue Gion moved his race seat this year into an Aston Martin Vantage, and he's enjoying being in this number 1 car run by Pro Sport Performance.
The car is very, very perfect. Last year I drove with Porsche, but it's very different because Porsche is we go on the fault very quickly. If we throttle too much or we brake too late, the Aston we can do that, but after we control very good the car.
It's been a hard race for Rinaldi Racing, and once again they're off track.
As you've seen, we seem to be struggling a bit with tyres. The whole team keeps getting punctures. I think this is our third puncture today. So, yeah, not sure exactly what's going on, but we're certainly having a lot of difficulty.
So let's have a look at those who do still have a chance to win. Changes in the top 3 with the A6 AM team of Herbeth Motorsport now leading overall in the GT division. Their number 91 Porsche has a lap advantage over the number 11 Ferrari from Bohemia Energy. New to the top 3, the Phoenix Racing number 5, 3 different brands of cars, all with a lap between them. In the TCE division, all 3 class leaders are in the top 9. The leader of the TCR class, and therefore the overall TCE leader, is the number 112 from Autorama. They have a lap advantage over the 101 of Red Camel. Third overall is the 188 Audi from AC Motorsport. The Hankook 24-hour series travels the world, staging 12 and 24-hour races on demanding and exciting tracks. But that's not all series organisers Creventic do. In conjunction with TCR, they've organised the TCR Middle East Series. And now those 2 organisations are working together on the Spa 500.
People know that we have already a long time the TCR class in our 24-hour series. So now we will have in October a TCR Spa 500, which means 500 laps with only TCR cars. We expect it's a kind of legendary touring car adventure and touring car racing.
The circuit is very happy to host this race.
I think it's good because it's going to be a good challenge, good fight. And it's tourism, so it's very important for us. It's a new product, and we have to... There's a lot of customers that bought those cars, and I think it's interesting to... we follow the manufacturers, but we follow the promoters as well.
The Spa 500 will have a totally different atmosphere from the 24-hour series races. This will be a major event with lots of entertainment.
A lot of teams already preparing. At the moment we have something like 30 entries already, very international. And the team see this as a big opportunity to invite guests, put up their VIP hospitalities and to promote their team.
Yeah, we have a big Formula One lodge in the paddock, yeah, and with DG on board camera, and we offer the possibility to our guests to take a shuttle for see on the different corner, yeah, and to see inside what is endurance.
There's a lot of things to do. All manufacturers will become here with their usual street cars, so it's a big event also for spectators and for the teams.
And race week will spill over into the surrounding area.
Yes, I think there is a parade in Malmedy. We want to activate a lot of clubs to come around with manufacturers, and I think it will be a very good for the locals and animation within the Malmedy town.
There's already a healthy entry from teams and drivers, and plenty more who are still thinking about it. Some who normally drive in the GT series.
Yeah, we had talked about it to try to maybe join the team for the race. So we will see, because I'm really impressed with the TCR car. They are going really, really quick in the cornering. So they're great cars.
Of course, we're thinking about it. I think it's fun. I look at it, the program, so I'm asking my teammates, see whether they can do that with just all TCR. But TCR is a really fun car to drive.
It will be one of our biggest events this year, so we are already preparing the plans for that weekend, contacting the drivers. So yeah, we are looking forward to it, and we are sure that we will have a good car and a good driver lineup.
It's important for teams and drivers to know there's still time to enter and run here at Spa, day and night.
Yeah, the TCR Spa 500 laps will be 4 to 6 October this year.
Remember the number 602? The car has come to a halt on the main straight, almost opposite their pit.
Yes. Shame we couldn't get the car over the wall or something. It would have been much faster, but we had a small electrical issue. It was very random, so I was just coming out of the last corner and the car just shut off. I think it was a short circuit, or I don't know exactly. And then we were able to restart it once the car got towed back in the pits. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but nothing major. So
the number 105 GSR Motorsport Volkswagen stopped yesterday. They did get it going, but they never really found out what caused the car to stop in the first place. So today, the car restarted the second part of the race, and the hope was the problem had solved itself.
2 stints was okay, but on the third stint there was Vitanis driving, and again the same problem. And then we understand we cannot go to the end of the race without checking everything for the ground. So we stopped in the garage, spent about 40 minutes, I think, something like that. So everything lost everything, but now car functioning normally, and we're just trying to get to the finish.
The number 27 reduces its deficit to the number 11 Ferrari to just 4 laps. Still leading the GT race, the Herbert Motorsport number 91. Meanwhile, Stefan Jusjong just finished his stint in the Peugeot number 685.
Yeah, we had a few moments where the brake pedal going to the floor, so that was quite scary. But I think actually back then I was having a few sectors where I braking a lot, and I could also see now that they are really, really hot, but it's only that one time. So I have driven about 4 laps after, and there was nothing. So I don't know, but it's working now.
Smoke from the GDL Audi.
There's a vibration in the back and some smoke, so we're going to check the suspension. I don't think there's anything serious, but I came in just, they asked me to come in just to check because there was smoke coming. I had already stopped, and it kept on happening. So I'm not sure what's wrong.
A racing car should be the perfect working environment for its driver. If something is forgotten, it all becomes much harder.
I have some problem with my seat, as I forgot to put in the pillow. So I have some neck problems at the moment, but it's okay. Driving the car is very easy. The Ferrari is much easier than the Porsche. Normally I drive only Porsche. but it's much easier to drive.
The number 85 from CP Racing is third in the A6 AM class. Behind them on track, but a lap ahead and second in A6 AM is the number 34 from Car Collection Motorsport. But it looks like the number 85 team are about to get a little bit of unexpected help.
That'll help us just a bit. Yeah, they just came in with a puncture. So there have been a lot of them. That can happen to anybody. There have been a lot of them here, probably because this is such a high-speed track and it's so hard on tires.
The number 378 CWS Ginetta has not had a lot of good luck this weekend.
Today, it was coming down Camel Straight. All of a sudden, we turned in. The dashboard flashed to neutral. There's no drive at all on the car. I'm pleading with the marshals. Please, 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 get a tow truck for me. When there's a code 60, come on, you can tow me back. And then, like, those moments of emotion in your life when you're a racing car driver, and all of a sudden, you see the code 60 board going out. And you're going, wow, is that for me? Is that for me? Are they going to tow me back? Can we get back to the pits? Will we fix it? Will the boys get another go? Can they drive the car? And yes, even though I'd gone to a point of safety where the race director could have left me there all race, Creventic's helped me, got the car back to the pits, the mechanics fixed the car, and we're back out again.
And in the tradition of Creventic racing, it doesn't take that long for the field to go back to green flag racing. The fight's really on now. Only 2 hours left. This is endurance.
The organisation is very nice, it's very good, the concept is great. The idea of driving with amateur drivers along the pros and helping them become better drivers, and it's just a very good concept. I'm definitely available for more of this because I really enjoy it.
It's only possible to go racing thanks to the fact that many people spend their free time at weekends at tracks like this. Top of that list, the marshals.
Yeah, they do a terrific job. We need to respect them so much because where are you going to find the people who are so passionate and help us all the way through? So without the marshals, we cannot race. We need to respect them so much because they help us all the way through the 12-hour races. So yes, a lot of respect for them.
Some marshals have been on post for over 30 years. What brings them back?
Because I like it. Well, I do like mechanic, and I do like to help people. So that's why I'm doing this. It's my hobby. And also sharing times with some friends.
There's no substitute for experience, but essential knowledge is passed on to new generations.
We'll train new marshals, trying to learn them the spirit and also how to work as safe as possible to get them in their minds that our job is quite dangerous.
It's important to say drivers do appreciate the marshals' dedication.
Oh, the marshalling was fantastic, really helpful. The tow truck was brilliant. Creventic's is great, and they actually want you to race, want you to be on track, and want you to enjoy yourself. And everyone's really friendly. So why wouldn't I be happy with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the marshals are key, and it's an amazing job that they do. So very important. Otherwise, I would not have been able to get back out. So they were very responsive, and you know, they pulled the tractor out quickly instead of putting it on a flatbed. I was able to return to the circuit fairly quickly. Yeah, immensely grateful to those guys who quickly jumped the fence and helped me out.
They are extremely important, and in this case, they were extremely helpful. So I very much appreciate that.
It's not just about being on post next to the track. There's work to be done in the pit lane too.
Interior mode between the people, that's more exciting. If you come on broken car, you can see it. You can see change of pilots, change of tires. You see a lot, and you are with a team in a group, and you see team. You see a lot of people.
Rules allow up to 5 drivers per team. Now, cars this weekend that are running with just 2. We don't often see is 2 drivers in the same car at the same time, although in spirit at least, that's exactly what's happening in the Modena number 916.
That's my brother's 10 grand of ashes, and he passed away last October 28th, and he didn't have complete his dream, come here to race in Spa. So therefore I'm bringing his 10 grand of his ashes with me and racing with me inside my racing suit.
Wayne was a regular driver in the series. Imola last year was the final race in which he competed, and he was 3rd in the TCE series. The AC Motorsport number 188 Audi is trying to get back on the lead lap in TCE.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw him in the mirrors and he was fighting really hard.
Then I let him pass, and he destroyed his tires behind the Porsche, and it was fun to go back on the front position then.
TCE cars battling away. The 101 uses a gap to the right of traffic, but the number 112 gets stuck behind a Porsche.
Yeah, it was really fun. I had new tires. The pace was really good. Yeah, I could catch up, and I could immediately pass them. The pace we had was much better, and they were in traffic at that moment. So, yeah, I didn't really have to battle that much.
The Phoenix Racing Audi has had a steady run and has been holding third for the last couple of hours.
Yeah, we had some bad luck in the beginning with 2 punctures, but we fight back, and we have been P2. But then we had again some problems with the code 60. We didn't match it at the right time, so we lost a lap, and now we are at P3. But I think we have still good chances to stay on the podium.
Further problems for the Rinaldi number 47. They can't keep the tyres underneath the car, so the team have decided to call it a day for both of their entries.
We decided to retire the 22 because for safety reasons, because we have to find out which problems we have with the tires, and we retire.
The GRT entry is proving they've got a good all-round car. They're staying ahead of the leading Ferrari, but the chances that the Lamborghini will end up on the podium are slim.
We stay in 4th position of Pro Car, and but lost about 6 laps from the 3rd position, and it's very hard for us now.
Getting close to the finish flag now, and WRT have problems getting their Audi out of the pit lane.
We had a planned pit stop for fuel, and then the car just stopped. The screen went black, the car stopped, no power, no drive, nothing. We found out it was the power box, we had to replace it, and after that I could continue, but we lost, I'm not sure, but I think somewhere between 10 and 12 minutes.
A driver who does see this race as a present is Stéphane Parrin. It's an important day for him anyway.
Yes, it's my birthday. So I hope to finish to the podium, but it's magic for the battle during 20 minutes, I don't know. It's a very intensive battle and fantastic. Is that sport, and that's why we enjoy your endurance, yeah?
The Herbert Motorsport number 91 is still leading. It's got a little lead over the number 11 Ferrari, but the Porsche needs a splash of fuel to ensure it can complete the last couple of laps. The team have worked out they have got the gap needed to do this last stop, but the Ferrari, of course, is pushing as hard as possible to close that gap down. So how close is this A6 Pro car to overtaking the race-leading A6 AM machine? There's the Porsche number 91 rejoining the track on the right-hand side. Can it stay ahead? Can it stay ahead? Oh, the Bohemia Energy Ferrari has taken over the lead. Yes, it has taken over the lead. Oh, what a disappointment for the German team. Herbert have lost the first position with just minutes to go, and Matteo Monicelli is pushing the Ferrari and extending that new lead. Close racing in GT and in TCE, positions 1 and 2 on the same lap. The number 101 Red Camel Cupra leads, but we're hearing they'll have a time penalty. That will be assessed at the end of the race. Now, they're a minute ahead of the Autorama number 112. So, as long as they don't have any issues, they should still be able to take the race win. 12 hours of entertainment. The checkered flag is about to come out. And it is the Bohemia Energy number 11 Ferrari that crosses the finish line first, just ahead of the Herbert Porsche number 91. An exciting finish to the Hankook 12 Hours of Spa. The Czech Bohemia Energy team are overjoyed.
It was really hard, really tough, and we are really happy. Yes, I try 110%, but it was really tough, and I'm really happy.
The Herbert number 91 didn't get the overall victory, but Ralph Bourne is still happy with the win in the A6 AM class.
It's fine to be on the top of the steps, even more fine here in Spa. That's very special. It's a famous track, and we're happy that the team did such a great job for us. Thank you to the team.
A great run into the top 3, rather stealthily done by the Phoenix number 5 Audi.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was a very long stint. We did a splash and dash in the end, so the tires were big trouble for us, but we could manage it, and we're all happy, I think.
The TCE top three had to work hard until the checkered flag to reach their podium spots.
We didn't know if Autorama need to stop. Finally they did, so then I know I could save a little bit more, but also we had some penalties which we're not sure how it would work out, so I kept them pushing to the end.
We tried to make the right strategy to get up there and tried to keep some good lap times. That was the way we tried, but we couldn't manage.
So we are really on the limit with the brakes, and that was not really enjoyable. But bring the car home. I think it's a good reward for the team.
12 hours is about 43,000 seconds, but less than 8 seconds that divide the GT leaders at the end of the race. Bohemia Energy finished on the top step of the podium, 91 Herbert Motorsport Porsche, second position for them. Third step of the podium, Phoenix Racing, and then number 5 Audi. In the TCE division, the gaps are a little larger. Red Camel Jordans.NL 101 Cupra takes the trophy home for first position, a lap ahead of the number 112 Volkswagen of Autorama. A lap further back in third, the 188 Audi from AC Motorsport. Just as important, the class winners. The overall winner, Bohemia Energy, takes the win in the A6 Pro class. Second overall is the winner in the A6 AM class. That went to Herbert Motorsport. SPX was won by the number 202 BMW from JR Motorsport. The 991 class winners, Modena Motorsport, take the trophy in memory of Wayne Shen. In the TCE classes, the overall winner, the 101 Red Camel Jordans, take the top step for TCR. In the SP3 class, Pro Sport Performance drove their number 1 Aston Martin to the class win. And Dan Agro Racing proudly take the trophy for the victory in A3. Endurance racing is unpredictable right up to the very moment the checkered flag drops. We've proved that once again here at Spa. The overall lead changed hands in the last few laps, and 7.8 seconds was the slim margin of victory. Next up, over the 24th and 25th of May, we'll be in Brno for the epilogue. Be there as a spectator or as a competitor. All the info you need is at www.24hseries.com.